Hey, I'm Hatti and I'm going to be talking a little bit about relationships. Have you or would you meet someone for real that you met on the internet? Thanks to YouTube and the internet, I've met a load of friends through YouTube, through the internet, and I trust them more than I would trust people from school or anyone like that. And without the internet I wouldn't have met my boyfriend, who is wonderful. And it really annoys me when adults assume that whoever teenagers are talking to on the internet has to be a paedophile, and that it's really dangerous to meet up with these people. I agree that it's dangerous to meet up with these people because you've not met them face to face, but if you feel like you're at a stage where you can meet someone from the internet and you get on with them and all that, then you should. But teenagers aren't that... I don't think teenagers are that stupid to meet up with people that are blatantly sex offenders. They wouldn't. Do you believe that the age of consent is relevant/important? I feel that no matter what the age of consent is, people underage will still have sex, and in fact I think that the age of consent makes it seem more rebellious and cool to have underage sex, so I don't think that is actually doing anything. I really don't. I actually know of 14 and 15-year-olds that have had sex, and there was that thing in the news about that, I think it was a boy who was 13 years old having sex with a 15-year-old and making her pregnant, even though it turned out that he didn't make her pregnant anyway. But it still shows that no matter how old people are, they will still have sex if they want to. Yeah! Would you trust friends or parents first when it comes to relationship advice? I'd first trust my friends, and then I'd trust Google, and then I'd trust my parents. I don't feel comfortable talking to my parents about most things, like anything in general. So thinking about talking to them about relationship stuff, that sounds quite peculiar. Because I don't really want to know about their relationship, so I don't know why they'd want to know about any of mine, ever. Do you think it's okay for a 15-year-old girl to date a guy over 20? If a 15-year-old girl was to date a guy over 20, if they were fine about it, then I guess I'd be fine about it, as long as they don't get upset when people start calling him a paedophile, because that is bound to happen, because that is what happens. If you're going to date someone who's underage, then you will get called a paedophile. It also depends on how old they look, because a lot of young teenage girls, like 14, 15-year-old girls, look about 20. So if she looked 20 and he was 20, then I don't think it'd be that weird. Is there a pressure on teens to have sex early? If so, where from? I wouldn't say there's a pressure on just teens to have sex, but a pressure on everyone to have sex, because sexual references are literally everywhere. In music, in magazines, in film, television, advertisements, there's sexual references just everywhere. It's not necessarily a bad thing though, because without sex we wouldn't be here, which is kind of obvious, but it's true. And I just think that if teenagers are going to have sex, then they should be they should be warned about the risks beforehand and use protection, because nobody really wants young girls having abortions willy-nilly and everyone just having sexually transmitted diseases, because that would be the worst. Yeah.